This is the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for Wednesday, the 15th of January. I'm Michael Groff. Not quite as cool to start the day today as we've seen in recent mornings. And indeed, we will have a warming trend today and tomorrow. Afternoon highs getting back in the 70s, but it's short-lived because we will see another round of cooler temperatures in here this weekend and early next week. How cold will it get? Do we have the chance at another freeze or maybe multiple freezes here? We'll talk about that. Plus precipitation chances and so much more as we dive on in. First, the almanac from yesterday, 66 degrees the afternoon high, and for the third straight day, that low temperature of 37 degrees at Sky Harbor. Again, that's Sky Harbor. Many of you were at or even below freezing again yesterday morning. 68 and 46 are the averages for this time of year outside now, here just before 7 o'clock. We've got mostly clear sky, 39 degrees at Sky Harbor, dew point's 10, so yes, it's very dry. Humidity at 30%, wind light barometer rising. Checking out temperatures across the area this morning, kind of interesting. 39 is the temperature at Sky Harbor, and that's actually cooler than some of the surrounding areas. You don't see that too often. 42 at Arcadia, 48 in Scottsdale. It's 47 in Tempe. We've even got temperatures around 50 degrees in a few locations. But on the other side, we've got some low 30s on this map. We've got 30 degrees actually at Fort McDowell. So there are still some cool spots. And this is why sometimes in the Phoenix area, if you get a little bit of wind that picks up, sometimes that throws off these temperatures. And of course, with different elevations and depending on how the cold air is layered, inversion and all that, you can get some pretty wild temperature variations here. And that's why when we do our forecast lows, there's usually a 10-degree range. And realistically speaking, in the greater metro area, we'd almost need a 15-degree range sometimes for these low temperatures. All right, satellite picture out here across the west, and guess what again? It's clear, severe clear here across Arizona, much of California, Nevada, most of the southwest under clear sky. And that's because we have high pressure that's off the west coast. There is an area of low pressure underneath that. It's well west of the California coast right now. And unfortunately, in that sort of a Rex block setup, the pressure gradient still kind of tight there over Southern California. So we do have those east-northeasterly winds that'll be gusty today. Now, the good news is they're going to start to see those winds dying down later today, tonight, tomorrow, and hopefully that will help them in getting a better handle on these fires, which we are seeing some better containment on that Eaton fire, that Palisades fire. Those are really just raging fires still ongoing. And obviously there's other smaller fires that are ongoing in the LA basin and around there as well. Of course, here in Arizona, we've had our issue with wildfires as well. And with very dry conditions, despite the cool temperatures, fire danger remains elevated all through the southwest. So keep that in mind. Watch warning map, again, Southern California, it's the usuals. We've got the red flag warnings, we've got the wind advisories and all of that. To the north, we've got air stagnation, a problem for parts of Oregon and Idaho. That's pretty much a rubber stamp advisory for this time of the year, especially when you get these areas of high pressure that just sit there, that air gets stuck in those valleys, and then you get dense fog that develops overnight, and so the pollutants get trapped in the valleys, and it's kind of messy. But otherwise, things across most of the rest of the country are pretty quiet at the moment. Convective outlook for today, no organized severe weather, hardly any thunder. If you want to find a rumble of thunder or two, you might find it on the Texas Gulf Coast, and that's about it there. Precipitation outlook valid through Wednesday morning of next week. Rain amounts in Phoenix, nothing statewide, basically nothing. As again, the main storm track stays north and east of us. Now we're going to talk about some forecast uncertainties and the potential of a winter storm over parts of the country and a plunge of Arctic air and how that might impact us. We'll get to it right now as we look at the models. Here we go. The GFS, the 06Z run valid at 2 o'clock this afternoon. Okay, there's that area of low pressure well off the California and Baja coast. High pressure sits north of it. That's what we call a Rex block, but the block isn't going to last long. That low will eventually begin to move east and heading toward us over the next 24 to 36 hours. But what it means for us down at the surface for the rest of the day today, sunny sky, warmer, High temperatures, upper 60s and low 70s. The average high for today, 68 degrees. We should be just a little bit, a skosh, a pinch above that. All right, for tonight, clear sky. Overnight lows should drop into the upper 30s in the cool spots, 40s for most of the rest of us. Now, tomorrow we'll start the day out sunny, but we'll see an increase in clouds. Here comes that upper level low. And so, yes, high clouds will be pulled on in here. We will see a decent amount of mid and high level moisture with this feature, but that's just it. It's mid and high level moisture. The subcloud layer remains dry. Dew points will remain rather low. So I don't anticipate much in the way of precipitation with this feature, but the good news is for Southern California, the winds aloft and at the surface should begin to switch, and we'll see more of an onshore flow, at least temporarily. And so that should provide higher humidity levels, better for fighting those fires. And of course, with the winds dying down at least somewhat, that should make conditions better there as well. Now for tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow night, yes, those clouds are going to continue to increase. We may even see a few showers, very light showers or sprinkles across eastern Arizona. Maybe even for northeast Maricopa County, as close, I guess, even as Scottsdale, Fountain Hills, like the far northeast valley might catch a brief shower or sprinkle. We're not going to put that in the forecast, but I guess that is conceivably possible late tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night. Otherwise, for the day tomorrow, high temperatures, low to mid 70s. This will be the warmest day of our forecast period. Once that area of low pressure passes by, that'll set the chain in motion for cooler temperatures to come on in here. Highs closer to average on Friday, mid 60s, the sky sunny. Then over the weekend, yes, cooler air is going to just gradually filter on in. We'll see a big plunge of Arctic air, mainly east of the Rockies, but some of that will start to spill in here too. High temperatures, again, mid 60s on Saturday, but those overnight lows, cold spots will get down near freezing. Most of the rest of us, 30s to near 40 degrees. Probably don't need to cover up your plants again unless you're in those very, very coolest of spots around the valley. But by Sunday, we'll see continued cool air advection. High temperatures, again, low to mid 60s. The sky should be sunny or mostly sunny. We've got another wave moving down the California coast. We'll watch that, but that's not going to impact us. That should move mainly south of us and shear out as it does. Now here comes Monday. And previous runs saw a highly positively tilted wave coming in here, but with some really good dynamic support and maybe some showers. That doesn't look like it's on the table for Monday, kind of delaying the onset of this wave dropping south and bringing a reinforcing shot of cool air. Nonetheless, Monday should still see highs low to mid 60s, low temperatures mostly in the 30s. Again, if you're in the cool spots, may need to cover up. I don't expect a widespread freeze, but some patchy frost, some patchy freezing temperatures across the area are possible. All right, let's go to Tuesday. All right, now we've got this trough that's digging in. That's going to really start to create a mess for the southern plains, and ultimately, that's going to head down toward the southeast U.S., and we'll show you what kind of implications that has in a moment. But that's going to drag in some more cool Arctic air out of western Canada and just pull it on south. Now, again, the mountains kind of shield us from some of the coldest of that air, but still, high temperatures should be in the upper 50s to low 60s, a bit below average here. And I anticipate low temperatures Tuesday morning could get well down in the 30s, maybe even upper 20s in the coldest valley areas. We'll watch for the potential of a freeze either Monday night or perhaps Tuesday night into next Wednesday. Speaking of, let's keep going. This is Wednesday, the 22nd. And again, that wave, that trough is diving into the plain states. And you kind of got that vortex across eastern Canada. You got a cross-polar flow developing with this ridge nosing all the way up toward the Arctic Circle, northerly flow coming on down the Rockies and east of the Rockies. And so that cold Arctic air just continues to push south across much of the eastern half of North America. Now for us, we're on the western side of that, and temperatures should still be a bit below average if this is right. I'd say highs probably low 60s. And again, low temperatures out here Wednesday morning. We could see a freeze in many spots, maybe not across the entire valley, but in many locations. Let's go to Thursday. This is the 23rd. And now, again, we have this ridge. It's nosing in on us now. It's shifting a little further east. this high amplitude pattern. So temperatures here would actually start to warm up. Now, I would still anticipate cool mornings, but slightly warmer afternoons because the air will still be very, very dry. But east of us, across the plain states and the southeast U.S., look at what's brewing out here. Wow, you got a low in the Gulf, a surface low in the Gulf, and cold air plunging south. And that could set the stage for a winter storm across East Texas, all the way through parts of Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee. And, if this run of the GFS is right, and let's preface this by saying this is one deterministic model run, and there's a lot of uncertainty here. But let's just say that this does work out as advertised, or something close to as advertised. We'd see snow for a good part of East Texas and Oklahoma, parts of Arkansas, maybe northern Louisiana, or freezing rain. And it could be kind of a freezing rain and sleet, just an icy mess for parts of Alabama, Georgia, Mississippi. I mean, you could see some significant ice accumulation in this scenario, but let's just say this is going to change a lot from run to run between now and then. We are way too far out to have any sort of clarity on what's going to happen with this setup. But it's an idea that's on the table. Going out 10 days. This is Friday, the 24th. And wow, that's a really cold trough for the eastern half of the country. Very anomalously low heights there. We've got a ridge, albeit a somewhat weaker ridge, a dampened ridge out here across the west. So temperatures would be at close to, or maybe even a degree or two above average here, but overnight lows would still be somewhat chilly, 30s and 40s. But for the east, look at that. I mean, the GFS is advertising a pretty substantial storm for the northeast U.S. Lots of snow, lots of frozen precipitation, and look at all that snow on the backside of this wrapping around into the southeast, into Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, and Tennessee. That could be a decent little snow if that works out. But again, this is going to change. This is not something that's an official forecast or something you should run to social media, even though people are already doing this. You know who you are. You know all the usuals out there. They're saying, major snowstorm coming to the southeast. Batten it down, Grandma. We got ourselves a blizzard. You're coming. And I know there's so many of these fly-by-nighters that like to post that they take the most outrageous deterministic model run and they use that as like the clickbait and all that. And that's cool, I guess, but this is going to change. And it may not even happen at all, although one thing we are pretty confident of is that there will be well below average temperatures for a good portion of the country, particularly the eastern 2/3 of the country, for most of next week. Okay, let's take a look at rainfall for us here in Phoenix. This comes off of the GFS Ensemble. This goes out through the 29th of the month. And let's talk about this for a second. Right now, we're sitting at 104. Today will mark 146 consecutive days without rainfall in Phoenix. And looking at the streaks, the driest streaks on record here in Phoenix, right now we are in third place. Second place is 147 days, and that's back in 2023. First place, 160 days from December 30th, 1971 through June 6, 1972. 160 consecutive days without rainfall, without measurable rainfall. We're at 146 counting today. And it sure looks like, if we take this at face value, it sure looks like we're going to go out and we are going to break that record because that will be established out there at the end of the month. And the European Ensemble is a little bit more bullish on precipitation, but when I say a little bit, I mean just a little bit, because you can see the totals here. The Ensemble mean is just, it's a little over 0.15 of an inch, not even 1/4 of an inch. And there are still quite a few members here that show nothing. And we don't see any clear indication of good rain chances in here anytime soon. Looking at temperatures off the national blend of models today and tomorrow, these will be the warmest days of our forecast period. And then we drop into the 60s, maybe low 60s out there toward the middle or early part of next week, early middle part of next week. And there may even be a day where we stay in the upper 50s. and those overnight lows. And again, what you're looking at here, this is at Sky Harbor. Your number, your temperature will likely be lower than that. And again, we could see a freeze maybe next Tuesday or Wednesday morning. And outlying valley areas could see freezing temperatures most mornings starting Saturday morning and continuing through much of next week. So anyway, that's going to do it for the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for today. My next video is due back here tomorrow morning. Should you happen to enjoy these videos, be sure to subscribe, like, share, click that notification bell. Leave those comments, questions, and suggestions. If you really like what we do here, click that thanks icon below the video here on YouTube. Make those monetary contributions to us. Or you can donate directly via PayPal. grovshow@gmail.com is that PayPal address. It's GROFFshow@gmail.com for PayPal. The executive producer of the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion is my one and only, the sweetest of all time, the Asian sensation and proprietor of sweetchildaz.com.org and the Facebook page of the same name, Sweet Child Arizona, talking about my Michelle. Check her out. Check out her blogs, videos, everything Michelle related and tangentially Adriana related. It's all linked up down in the description. Or, of course, if you're really adventurous, you can check out our streaming station. It's available 24/7, 365. It is called KMGX. What do we do there? We play a ton of music, have a lot of fun with that. So do give that a look, a listen, and all of that. It is the most chaotic mix of music you will find anywhere. And of course, as always, what do we do here? Well, not as always, but as usual, we like to give you a little sample of what you'll find when you tune in. I mean, I think you should just tune in. You can tune in either by the links in our description or at kmgx.com. But here is just a little sample of what you might hear. There you go. And so there's thousands of songs. They're all in one place. I mean, what else do you possibly need? All right. You know what's crazy is, without even looking, I knew what song that was. Again, when you've been in music as long as I have, when you've done, I've had this streaming station for 25 years, or almost 25 years, and you've heard these songs so many times, and I don't know. I'm pretty good at name that tune. What can I say? All right. Well, I guess I missed my calling. I could have been on a lot of these bad trivia game shows instead of here talking about weather. All right. Thank you so much for watching. All of your continued support. It is so greatly appreciated. Please be safe out there. Stay warm this morning, and you guys have yourselves a beautiful rest of your Wednesday.